What's up, guys, and welcome back to Wake Up Entertainment. So, Colonel Stein, the state witness, when he presented his evidence, what he did is that he consolidated data from multiple phone numbers into his report. So, this is what he then came with this report to testify with at the Senzo meyiwa trial, and this is what Judge Ratha had to say.
Hello? Of the other number?
K5C.
Oh, okay. It's on the screen. Fine. We all have this page. This triple page 5C. Is
Yes,
that not so?
yes.
But what I want the colonel to do, he says when he was working on this document, he was using two other numbers.
That's correct, yeah.
So you're using three numbers.
No, I didn't. I also used it because the other number was the one of Zandele,
Yeah.
and the other one was the one of Senzo. So I didn't use it. Or I did use it, but it wasn't. I didn't use it because they didn't.
In
find
other
that
words,
number.
this information doesn't appear in the other documents.
It is in that document as well.
Yes, I want to see it.
Okay.
I want to see the origin of the numbers. All the numbers.
Can I print it tonight and give it to you tomorrow?
Yeah, fine. No problem.
No, I do it.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
You see what I want to understand is the consolidation of these numbers. They obviously don't come from one page. Am I correct?
That's correct, yes.
That's it. So you must come with the explanatory notes, if you have, which must show us how did you compile this
Yes.
document.
Okay. Now I will do that.
And which other numbers did you use to compile this document? You say Zandiles
Yeah, and
number,
Senzo.
and who else?
And Senzo.
And Senzo.
That's correct.
So bring all of those documents.
Okay.
And then we shall all sit down here like high school children. You see here where it says 8. When it says 8 in his document, he marks it. And you do the same. Are you with me?
Okay. Yes.
Right. Okay, let's adjourn. What's the time then?
So this report with Colonel Stein has so many problems in that the data itself, since it's compiled from multiple phone numbers, the way that it is presented is not from a single and straightforward document. It's being taken from so many documents, and it's open to inaccuracies. So therefore, there is a need for Colonel Stein to actually provide the original Vodacom documents for all the phone numbers that he used in his compilation. So when he does that, the court now can actually verify the accuracy of that consolidated data and understand how Colonel Stein actually compiled all of this data. Because one of the challenges with these documents is that they just shouldn't be accepted as they are. They should also be verified even if they are coming from witnesses. And another thing that is also important is that a Vodacom representative should actually be called to come and testify. This is very, very important because the documents with these phone numbers are coming from Vodacom themselves. So how do we know that this data is from Vodacom? So what is needed to verify is actually the authenticity of those documents. So how that can be done is to call a Vodacom representative, because the challenge that is there is that we have these police officers like the likes of Colonel Stein, that are coming in with this data from Vodacom, but it's not Vodacom who is coming with the data itself. So there is a need for a Vodacom representative to come and testify and say, yes, this data is from Vodacom. So when you look at Colonel Stein's profile, you see that he is a member of the South Africa Police Service and not a Vodacom employee. So Colonel Stein is involved in analyzing cell phone data. So what he did is that he compiled a report using data from a 6,229 page Vodacom document. So did you get that? He got a document from Vodacom that contained 6,229 pages. Then from that document, he then compiled a report. And Colonel Stein actually admitted consolidating information from multiple phone numbers into his report. So now it's a challenge for the court to try and understand these 6,000 pages that are coming in from Colonel Stein, hence the need for a Vodacom employee or representative. Another big challenge that I actually saw during the court proceedings with Colonel Stein is that he had an apparent lack of expertise, and he had most of these responses I don't know, which suggested a potential lack of in-depth understanding of the complex Vodacom data. This was happening when he was being cross-examined by the defense. This raises a red flag, because what are the potential for errors that are there? It obviously makes it very high. That's when these discrepancies ended up coming in between his report and the original documents from Vodacom. That's why Judge Ratha ended up saying, we are going to hold the Vodacom data here and start cross-checking everything one by one. So in summary, when you look at Colonel Stein, he has been presented as a witness whose expertise and credibility is now being put under serious questioning by the defense. And obviously the defense is actively working to undermine his testimony and creating an impression of a witness who is out of his depth. So looking at the side of the state now, we were trying to balance both sides here. Their recovery in this situation hinges on addressing the credibility issues surrounding Colonel Stein's testimony. What Advocate Baloyi can do, for example, is to conduct a thorough redirect examination to clarify any ambiguities and explain the I don't know responses. They definitely have to address that. They should also have Colonel Stein explain the process that he used to compile the data in a clear and easy way to understand. So, for example, if Colonel Stein's testimony is insufficient, then the state may need to call in an independent expert in cell phone data analysis, and this expert can provide an objective assessment of the data's reliability and interpretation. Here, the state now must clearly establish the chain of custody for the Vodacom data from its original source of those over 6,000 pages to its presentation of that report that was presented by Colonel Stein. So these are some of the issues that the state has to be tackling. And on top of that, it's not all about presenting this data. Because we must not forget the bigger goal of why we are here. The bigger goal of why we are here, it is because of those 5 accused that are in court. The state now should then clearly connect this cell phone data to other evidence that they talked about in this case. Here they'll be demonstrating the relevance and importance of this cell phone data, because there is this quote that says that the burden of proof lies with the state. It is the state, that must prove that these 5 accused are the ones that are guilty. So the state will be trying to connect this cell phone data to other evidence, like ballistic evidence, witness testimonies, and the defense obviously is there to challenge all of that. So this is the issue that is there with Colonel Stein that he has to iron out for the defense. Tell me what you think in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.